season high today with 20 points, and it's been a while since mid-January since you've kind of reached that 12-point mark.
Mm-hmm.
Was there kind of a sense that you were going to be aggressive today? Did you kind of feel that with, going up against a center that maybe not seeing as many double teams?
Yeah, I think you said it. Just not seeing those double teams makes it a little bit easier when you're operating down low. And we knew before the game that maybe they were going to be a little bit smaller with the big fella fighting a little bit of illness. So I knew I had to be aggressive and go at them. And credit to my teammates for finding me and making it easy on me. So, yeah.
Steve, just to add on to that, how hard is it to, over here on your right, how hard is it to just stay in a rhythm, when you go 5 or 6 games without getting a lot of, deep post touches and, able to, shoot consistently? Is there anything you did just to, make sure tonight would go as well as it did?
Like I said before, I think just credit to my teammates and coaches just for being on me and for staying at it and for getting me the ball where I can score it. And I think, like I said, just sticking to the plan and doing what I can to help the team win. And tonight that was scoring a little bit more. So, just credit to my teammates and coaches for sure.
Go ahead, Mark.
Another one for you, Steve. Rebounding was a big difference this time, especially early on. What can you put your finger on? What went into being so much more productive as a group on the boards today?
I think just what happened last game kind of fueled us a little bit, and we knew it was going to be a war on the glass, and obviously them not having their 2 big fellas fully healthy helps a little bit, but we knew it was going to be a war, and I think as a team we did great, and it was just a team effort.
Go ahead in the back.
Hey guys in the back here. Coach Underwood just left and he was saying how sick his team is. At what point did you guys really realize this is maybe not the Illinois team you played a couple months ago? And how was it preparing for a team knowing they've just been sick and just cycling through guys?
Well, I mean, I don't think we're the same team we were back then, so I don't think it really matters if they were sick or healthy. I think we were going to handle business, so we're a different team now, and we showed that tonight.
Go ahead.
Up here. I have a 2-part question for anybody, really. First off, do you guys think you're peaking at the right time? And second, is there a right time to peak? Do you think that's overblown?
I think it's just a steady progression throughout the season. We got a lot of guys that are just willing to buy in every day and just keep getting better. And I'm proud of our success lately, and I just think there's more room to keep improving.
Go ahead, Michael.
John, you obviously had a few big scoring performances in the beginning of the year, but in what ways has your kind of shot-making ability grown stale as kind of you've progressed throughout the year?
I think I got a better feel just for Wisconsin basketball at both ends, and I think my teammates understand me better, and I understand my teammates a little bit better, and we're just starting to mesh and click well, and I think things are just starting to come together and become more routine, so I think things are coming together.
Go ahead.
John, to follow up on that, as you get more and more attention, where do individual accolades fit in the context of team success for you?
I don't like to get into that. I think I just try to come out here and compete and just do my job, and that stuff will take care of itself. I just want to come out here and compete, and the guys believe in me, and I believe in them, and I'm just so proud of what we've been able to do as of late.
Carter, first half, the team was shooting over 50 or so percent, holding some of their better players down, and yet the team was up by 6. I guess I'm just curious, what was the mood at halftime? What were some maybe the things that were emphasized that helped this group kind of pull away in the second half?
Yeah, I think we got pretty turnover happy, just some sloppy mistakes that obviously on our end limited our shots that we got in the first half, and I think they got 11 points off of those turnovers in the first half. So that was a big discussion at halftime, kind of talking about that, being smarter with the ball, trusting each other. So that was one, and then kind of just knowing they had kind of new guys in there, new rotation, playing a little different styles. So just recognizing that, seeing what was going on, making sure that we knew if we needed to switch on some guard-to-guard screens or stuff like that, that we were going to do that. But that's one thing we've always talked about is just the maturity of this team to go in at halftime and being player-led and talking it out as players of what we need to get better at and then going out and doing it.
Go ahead.
Carter, when you kind of checked into the game for the first time, fans are all kind of chanting your name. 2 possessions later, you hit that 3 and the crowd goes pretty well. Just how is that? The first few minutes, especially you coming back to the Kohl Center, you hear your name as soon as you're kind of entering the game, and just the feeling of those first few minutes, especially when you're checking in here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just to have that support behind me and to have the fans and, I mean, obviously my teammates as well that have my back, just gives me that confidence to go out there, play my game, have fun, and just to have my family and friends here, and then to do it with my teammates who are my best friends as well. I mean, it's super special, and I'm just glad I'm here in the Wisconsin Badger.
We got 2 more questions for the players. Go ahead, Jim, and
Stephen
then
Gard, I
Michael.
don't need to tell you this. Illinois has had your number, right? I mean, what does it mean to get over that hump, and is that talked about very much?
I mean, Gilly and I were talking about it a little bit, knowing we hadn't really beat them since we've been here. So we knew this might be our last opportunity to get them, so we had to go out and get the win. So.
For sure.
Nope.
Not one time.
1 and 9, maybe. I think.
I got to bring that up.
We forgot all about those.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Steve, you're probably tired of hearing about the last time you played against Illinois, but I guess in what ways do you feel like that game and the aftermath of it kind of changed the trajectory of your season?
I think just I had to look myself in the mirror a little bit and come back and just become a little bit of a different player. And like I said earlier, credit to my teammates and coaches being on me a little bit because they know I can take it, and just listening to them, and it's all worked out so far. So.
I guess, Greg, the obvious question is just what you see that was different. What do you think really, aside from them obviously being a little under the weather, what stands out to you about today?
Well, I thought, in the first half, it took us a little bit to kind of figure out some things defensively because with Ivicic not in the starting lineup, it changed a little bit with how they're playing and what we prepared for. So I think once we got a feel for that, I thought defensively, specifically in the second half, we were much better. Took better care of the ball in the second half. And then I felt obviously getting to the free throw line was important, and that's a accumulation effect of us coming in waves and moving the ball and being able to play downhill and play through the post. Like Steve, I thought was really good tonight, really aggressive, really physical. So it's a combination of all those things that. So this team does a really good job of kind of adjusting and learning as the game goes on and keeps their foot on the gas, depending on what the opponent's trying to do.
Nick, go ahead, please.
Greg, we've talked a lot about Steve's mentality the last month and a half, 2 months, but 20 points, 7, 5, just 1 turnover. How kind of complete of a performance was that from him tonight, and how impactful was it for him going forward?
Yeah, I think you've heard me say a lot that an aggressive Steve makes us better. And I think for him, obviously the playing real physical in the paint obviously helps when you bang in all your threes and just gets him going and gets his confidence up even more. But I thought he was really a physical presence. I thought he really commanded the ball in the paint. When we did go to him, we ran things through him quite a bit. And then he's just, when he was efficient, 7 of 10, obviously. And he's such a willing passer, sometimes too willing. He has 5 assists, but there's probably others out there where it was the next pass or his kick out of post pressure or a dig or a raid that got us an open shot. So he was aggressive and very effective. Go ahead.
I have a 2-part question, Greg. First, a lot of people are saying, this team is peaking at the right time. First off, do you agree? And second, do you think that's an overblown concept? Like, is there a right time to peak within a season?
I don't know what's peaking, right? What's peaking? They're like peak, peaking. We're trying to get to the top. At that peak, you want to keep getting better. I think that's the thing. You just want to keep getting better, and there's areas that we have to continue to get better at, and that's individually, and that's also collectively. So I hope we're not peaking. I hope we're still ascending. So I don't want to hit the peak yet, but we're not because we got to get better. So we're not at the peak.
Go ahead.
You've seen a ton of impressive scores during your time here. What John's done really since the USC game, where does it rank? I mean, he's just on an absolute tear.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he forced a little bit early. I thought he tried to play too fast and create something out of nothing early. And getting to the free throw line, I think, helped settle him down a little bit, where he could, watch some shots go in. And I think, again, much like, the whole team concept, it's an accumulation effect of how we play and the pace we play with, and the bench coming in and just continue to come in waves. And then he obviously has the ability, obviously, to shoot threes and really well, and he's a load coming downhill. I mean, he's strong. He goes to contact. And obviously he shoots the line really well. So it's, in terms of how we play and system and guys around him, the floor is usually spread because we got so many shooters out there. He's just taking advantage of his opportunities and doing a really good job of it.
Jim, go ahead.
When you win a big game, I guess you never really know what's going to happen 3 days later. Is that less of a concern, though, with this team because they're so old and there's a lot of maturity? Or
I was concerned. Yeah, I didn't know how. I thought we'd respond well, but, man, Saturday was such a physical game, going through the tape a couple times, and obviously emotional when you play really well on the road and a really hard place to win against a really good team. So I think the maturity, stepped up and stepped in again, because we didn't do anything on Sunday because it was so physical. We walked through some things, talked through them, and sent them to the weight room and do some recovery stuff, and then went more contact stuff yesterday, knowing that, we're late February here, approaching late February. I'm probably not going to tell them a whole lot of new things. It's a matter of being fresh and staying healthy, and then the experience comes through, and especially in the timeouts when you hear them talking about, need to guard this better, or guard that better, or good job with X or Y or whatever it is. They communicate really well in the huddles.
Question. Go ahead.
You said there's still room to get better offensively. Where can you? Where do you still see room for improvement?
Well, I think across the lineup, we've been able to get production from a lot of different places. Tonight's Tanjay, Saturday was Tanjay. We've had other nights it's Blackwell. Janicki's given us good boost off the bench on Saturday, and McGee's given us a good boost. Gilmore's had these moments. So I think just the consistency of continue to I think Winter can still become even more of a scorer as time evolves. If that happens this year, we'll see. But I think there's just a lot of, I see the upside in these guys, and I see how we can get better. Blackwell can get better. So that's my job and our job as a staff to keep raising the bar and keep pushing. And when you have a hungry group that's unselfish, they want to keep climbing too. And we haven't done anything. We have to keep pushing forward. And we talked about climbing the mountain early in the year, and we're still climbing.
Go ahead.
I thought Nolan was really good tonight. He started the game really well, and then he kind of hit the bench, I think, in that first rotation. How do you, as a coach, figure out when you can play him and Steve together, maybe when you need to stagger them? Is that matchup dependent? Talk about that.
Yeah, it's matchup dependent, especially tonight with them playing, obviously with the Visage not starting. That really kind of changed how we had prepared. And then with all the, if they're putting Davis out there or Humrichus, I'm not going to say his name wrong, number 3 out there, and all the slide outs and the pick and pops and stuff like that. Hummerkraus. Did I get it right? Hummerkraus. Any Illinois guys in here? Got it? All right. I can say Yakachonis a lot easier than I could say Hummerkraus. But anyway, it just creates a different dynamic. And then you're trying to keep both those guys fresh, right? Steve and Nolan, so I can roll a big back at the 5 if I need to. So it's a little bit of mix and matches based on lineups.
Ben.
Speaking of Yakachonis, him and White really kind of commanded the game in the first matchup tonight, held him to 7 shots and 9 turnovers. What did you like about how your group attacked them defensively to keep them out of that rhythm?
Yeah, I think, I've said, for the last couple of weeks, I think we've gotten better, and we're getting better, and we're better than we were in December. I think we're better defensively than what we were in December. And ball pressure has gotten better. We're better at maneuvering and handling screens for the most part. Our bigs are better at when to blitz screens or shock screens and when we need to switch. So I think just the growth of this group and the connectivity, we have great connectivity offensively, but you have to have that defensively too. And this group is continuing to develop and grow in a positive way in at that end as well.
Go ahead, Michael.
Aggression for Steve has had different definitions, whether it's scoring, looking for a shot,
Mhm.
or rebound and defending. I guess like when that comes together, like it did tonight, I guess what's the value of that for the team?
Well, it gives us another weapon, obviously, and there's going to be nights where, he's going to get a lot of attention or get double teamed a lot. I know his numbers haven't been eye popping, but he's helped create other opportunities for teammates, and that's, whether that's post ups and his distributing out of the post, his passing on the perimeter, all those things. I mean, obviously you have a night like tonight, the attention goes to 20 and 7, but he's played well in other nights and maybe didn't score or had 4 points or whatever it is. It's just, he's able to, we play through him a lot, and always have, just because of what his skill set brings. And you get a 7-footer that passes like that, you want to take advantage of his skill and his size, and whether it's on the post or on the perimeter, when he's got it going like he did tonight, just gives us another weapon that opponents have to worry about.
Go ahead, and then we'll give Mark one final
Coach,
question.
A lot of focus has been on John Tonje offensively, but it seems like he's grown a lot defensively
Mhm.
from the beginning of the season. Where have you seen that growth, and really synonymously with the rest of your defense as well?
Yeah, I think his growth has been a big part of us growing defensively, and I think he, not that he wasn't trying, and he just didn't know early in the year. I think when you come in, you have 1 year, you have to listen a lot like a freshman. He's a little more experienced than a freshman because he's been places, but from a defensive concept standpoint and how we play in our system, so he's gotten better just one-on-one and keeping the ball in front of him. He did one thing that'll make the highlight tape of running over and trying to steal the ball and fouling in the second half. That was a new one for me from him. I haven't seen that one before, so we'll eradicate that out of his toolbox. But anyway, I think he understands off-ball concepts better. He's better for the most part at switching screens when he's guarding a slide-out guy or having to give up the ball to go back to a stretch 4 or a hybrid forward. So I think just his understanding of the concepts and commitment to the concepts have grown, and it's helped our team.